welcome to Apollo City Comics.
That was great.
Yes, that was perfect.
It was a good surprise. We're back.
We're back.
We've been on a little hiatus. We've been real busy.
Yeah.
You're married.
Yeah.
Hey.
All of that's happened. That's true.
That is great. Yeah. Congrats for.
Well, thank you.
We
made too much noise for the cat. The cats.
We were gonna have Buyo listen, but she doesn't even want to listen to this.
No.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, you
Just
guys are being way too noisy.
The millions out there.
All right. Well,
how have you been? How's it going? What are you up to? What have you been reading? What have you been watching? Let's talk about some geeky stuff.
That's a big question, man. There's so many things.
You were in Canada. You were in Vegas.
Yeah, the travel was wide and far. Well, I mean, you can listen to the Redap episode if you guys want. I don't know.
Oh, actually, yeah, you're right.
We did a whole travel episode. I don't want to get too much into the same, like, retreading of the same ideas or whatever, but, nerdy stuff in particular. Let's see.
You saw some French Sandman comic books you're talking about.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there was a lot of comic shops in... well, I wouldn't say a lot in the spot in Canada we were in. We went to like 2 or 3. There's one that's like in the heart of Quebec City, which is kind of interesting. It's like this 400-year-old city, and there's just like a comic book store there.
That's cool.
But it was really good, and the store was really cool. It was really organized. This lady was tossing out suggestions. She was like, "Hey, have you read Mr. Miracle by Tom King?" I was like, "What?" Yes, I have. I actually have it in my backpack. You know what I mean? I took it with me.
Oh, really?
To read it on the plane. I was gonna see if Michelle wanted to read it because I think it's just a good read. But,
I made Kato read it because it's such a cute couple book.
It is a cute one.
Yeah.
I actually got a good recommendation over there. I didn't check it out though, but there's a new Vision comic out where it's like Vision living with his family in like the 50s or something like that. It looks really crazy. I don't remember exactly what the name is.
Well, Tom King did a Vision book.
I think it's that one.
And that was pre his DC stuff too. It's phenomenal. In fact,
I don't think it's that one. Then it looks new. It looks like a new Vision. It was a trade paperback, and the cover looks like a Leave It to Beaver house or something.
Yeah, I think that's Tom King's Vision.
Oh, is it? Yeah. Is it? Okay. That might be the one.
We should read that. We should, because WandaVision.
It sounded very interesting.
It's really good. It's really depressing.
Yeah, then we got WandaVision. We'll get into that, I guess, during the Comic-Con part of the discussion, right?
Yeah, we have so much.
I got a lot of books I want to share with you. I think I'll save some of those for the end. Well, I might as well show a couple of them off right now. You know what I mean? I picked this up while I was in Canada. It's called Another World War II. It's by Moon Hyo Siap.
Oh, wow.
And it was actually...
That cover art looks great.
It was quite a bargain. And I bought it. It's in French. I can't read it. You know what I mean? But I bought it because I loved the artwork. Here, I'll let you check this out. It's like this World War II. It's got a very similar art style to Metal Slug, like the video game Metal Slug.
It looks like something straight out of Heavy Metal magazine. You know what I mean?
It's a crazy combination of like adorable creatures and then like
mouse or something like that.
Futuristic weaponry too, because there's like mechs and stuff later.
Yeah.
What I could find out about the book is it's a Korean comic originally, and it's only in Korean and French, so there's actually no English translation of this book.
That's cool.
Which actually made me feel a little bit better because after I had bought it, I was like, man, if I get back to the United States and I just find the English version in Barnes and Noble, I'm gonna be like a little upset with myself. But then to find out it's only I thought that was kind of cool. That's one thing I picked up there. Let me see.
These mechs look cool.
Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna go through a bunch of this right now. Let me pile through here real quick. And yeah, it's not a bad time to talk about it, man. So like while I was out of the country, Walking Dead just stopped.
Just ended, and they released it the same week as the book coming out. Super surprised, nobody saw it coming. Yeah,
totally crazy. I was reading in the back of this issue, the final issue, which is like a triple-sized issue almost. Him talking about how they made like fake artwork for like comic book websites. You know, when you see like issues coming out in the future, they made fake artwork for issues that don't exist.
Oh, wow.
Like just to fool everybody and keep it totally upset. Kirkman writes a nice little heartfelt letter at the end of the issue too. And part of it he says is like his least favorite part about watching a TV show or something is realizing when you only have like 2 episodes left or something like that. And then you start, the anticipation builds up and the I don't know, you're just expecting it to be like, everything, and then the hype gets out of control.
Yep.
So he decided that in true Walking Dead fashion, let's just have a surprise ending where it's just over. So I don't know, man. He kept it super closed wraps. I don't want to get into spoiler alert territory. All I will say is that Walking Dead takes another time jump.
Oh, really?
Maybe 15, 20 years into the future.
Really? That's cool.
So we do get the full story. I gotta say, like, it's concluded. Like, they finished it.
It was a good ending.
There's not anything that's, like, left up in the air. I thought it was a great ending.
Nice.
I thought it was really good. When I got into this last Walking Dead story arc before they finished it, some of it felt like a little bit like a retread. Like, okay, well, what are we going to do? It's another community, blah, 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 blah. And there's a couple things he was doing different, but when you finish the book, you're like, oh, okay, well, that's the reason. Like, it is a great ending. And I think Kirkman managed to, in the comic book especially, have it to where, like, every arc had something special to it, like something new to it.
Yeah.
I think the book went out at a great time. I'm curious now, like, more than anything else, as to what they're going to do with the TV show.
Yeah.
Because at Comic-Con...
Is the TV show coming up close to the end of the book?
If it keeps up the right pace, they could get to, like, 3 or 4 more seasons.
Okay.
But it is catching up pretty quick now.
That's cool.
And one of the issues...
It's season 10 now, right?
One of the issues is that because of characters they've killed off, there's no way they could ever do the ending that's in this book. Mm-hmm. So they're going to have to create their own thing. And then now they have this movie thing going on, which they also announced at Comic-Con.
Which that could be the end, too.
I think it has to be. Yeah. I don't think you can do the movie and then just go back to the show again.
That's kind of annoying, too.
It is a little annoying.
I'd rather watch a whole TV series than watch the movie at the end. Be like, that's the end.
That's the end. Like Firefly or something. But although Serenity wasn't a total ending, it was... But that's another discussion. Okay, so quickly, some stuff I did pick up. I picked up The Thing from Another World, this is Climate of Fear. I didn't know this existed. This is actually a comic book sequel to the original Thing.
I think I own this series.
Oh, really? That's crazy.
Yes.
It's a 2-part series, apparently. I think this is part 2.
3 or 4.
Well, like, there's
part
2
2 of the... Yeah,
so this is issue 3 of part 2.
Maybe I have the first part.
You should check it out. But Childs is in it. Right? I should have worn my Thing shirt. I have a Thing t-shirt.
I have a new Thing t-shirt that came in today.
Oh, man, we should have...
Wear that. We'll do a Thing episode.
We should do a Thing episode on this and just check it out. That would be great. I'd be so down for that.
I've had that in mind for a while, yeah.
It might be terrible. I did read that issue. It seems it could be really interesting. It just depends on how they do it.
I have a gorgeous Thing art book that came out at Comic-Con 2 years ago, and it's just a bunch of, like, kind of posters.
I've seen this thing.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's great.
Coffee table material for sure.
I need to get the soundtrack. The soundtrack would be amazing.
One of my favorites. I would write short stories to that soundtrack.
Yeah.
So inspired.
You know who does the soundtrack, right?
I don't, not off the top of my head.
It's like 2 people. It's John Carpenter, who does all the synthy stuff.
Yeah.
And then all the orchestral stuff is Ennio Morricone.
Really?
Until, like, Good, Bad, and the Ugly and all that.
Exactly, yeah.
Hateful Eight and all that stuff.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah, right? Isn't that amazing? I don't know if you've heard about this. I'm just gonna start handing you stuff.
I do have that one. I have
the
that
Star
whole
Wars.
series.
Do you have the whole series? Okay.
I have the whole series. And it's funny because I only got to, like, issue 6 because there's so many delays on the series.
Okay.
Towards the end, I never got to finishing it, but it's very interesting. This would be a good take with. I love how we're just getting ideas right now.
Ideas for future episodes, right? We're just charting them out. This is the Star Wars for those non-video subscribers, I guess. The Star Wars is based on George Lucas's rough screenplay.
Yeah, the original idea.
Which the Hollywood legend tells that it wasn't very good.
Yeah. And
that, like, a bunch of people kind of came in and, like, helped make that first Star Wars what it is, even though in the credits it's just George Lucas.
Yes.
So I think that's kind of an interesting story. That always fascinated me.
Yeah. And the artwork, the concept of the characters, how Vader looked, how
very different.
Luke's Star Killer and stuff like that. Yeah. Which they used for the video game, The Force Unleashed.
And now I think... Oh, I was like, how is it in the new movie? What is it called? The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Star Killer is the base.
The base, yeah. So a
it's
lot
the
of
Star Killer
references.
base. So it comes back, yeah. But I picked up like 3 issues at some random comic shop.
Okay.
Then I came back here and I got one more single issue over to Asylum Comic Books, located on North Mesa Street. But I was just like, I'm down to check them out. I like reading Star Wars books. I like the '90s ones a little bit better. Like a lot of the stuff they did with Dark Horse, that was like expanded universe.
Those
all that
were
stuff's
some
great.
Of my favorites.
A lot of the stuff Marvel's spitting out right now, I think is very forgettable.
Yes.
I tried to read like TIE Fighter, and I was like, this is lame.
I couldn't get into it.
Yeah.
I read the Vader arc by Kyroy Gillian. I forget how to say his name all the time.
Is it the Secret Castle thing, or is it a different Vader?
I want to read that one too.
I want to read that one too. It's supposed to be like horror stories,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Okay, yeah.
But this Vader arc, I loved it. When I had that comic book internship, I actually did a review about it.
Oh, yeah.
And it is the Vader you want to see that you
Okay.
don't see on screen, and it's ruthless. It's Vader. You know what I mean? The one that we should
That's
have
cool.
had. But I enjoyed that series a good amount. But it was a quick read and kind of easily forgettable at that point. But definitely worth looking into if you're a big Star Wars junkie.
That one I'll have to check out. I really want to check out that. I don't remember what it's called though. Vader's
Castle.
Vader's Castle.
I think
Is that
it's
what it
called
is?
Vader's Castle.
I want to
yeah.
check that one out. That one's kind of stuck out to me. I read the Force Awakens prequel or whatever they call it.
Oh, I didn't touch
the
any of
prelude to Force Awakens. Those are always a mistake.
Yeah.
Any
always.
any movie like
Comic book
prologue or whatever,
yeah, it just doesn't
terrible
do
mistake. But that one
They don't
was
follow
especially
it too
bad.
much because I see loopholes in those type of
And then
things.
they can't give away anything too big, obviously.
Yeah, because
It
it
is-
comes out 2 months before the movie to get you hyped, and then
Yeah. It ends
It's
up
like-
being really stupid.
yeah, or
It-
just like, oh, this was the trailer
Yeah.
I just watched.
Yeah. Actually, that one I remember the story was like Luke, like Wedge Antilles from the rebellion or whatever. His parents helped. Whoa, how did it go? Wedge Antilles' kids? No, I don't remember. No. Okay, no, I'm getting all backwards. It wasn't Wedge. No, Wedge was there. But what's the name of the new Wedge from Force Awakens?
Oh, what's his face?
This is so terrible. This is just like what the new Star Wars movies are. Like, just unmemorable people.
Yeah, it's the dude that's in Ex Machina and all
Yeah,
that.
the guy
right?
from Ex Machina.
Yeah.
What's his name?
How
do we not know this?
Apocalypse.
Yeah, Apocalypse. Poe Dameron.
Poe Dameron.
Poe Dameron's parents
Yeah.
are actually in the rebellion. Did you know this?
No.
This is what you learn in this prologue book. And apparently they went to the Jedi Temple with Luke and stole the tree from the Jedi Temple and
stole a
planted
tree?
it. And it's that tree that's in Last Jedi.
Doesn't make sense.
It's like the Force tree in the Jedi Temple. That
Then why is that on the?
it's where they
first
get the midichlorians from. You know what I mean?
Why is it in the Jedi Temple? All right, whatever. Let's just
It's
skip
at the
this.
Jedi
Let's just-
Temple. I don't know. It's
Next topic. I don't.
It's lame, right? That's how I felt at the end of that. Like, it was like a 2-issue series, and I was like, "Wow, this is stupid."
We try not to cuss on the show. I'm gonna really keep
Right?
my.
Yeah, right. We don't need to talk about that if we're trying to go for that. But anyways, the Star Wars looks cool.
Yes, no, definitely. I would love to look into this because the artwork behind it, the concept
Mm-hmm.
artist, I always forget his name. But they released an action figure set from that series, and I bought some of the action figures,
Ooh.
and they are. I mean, they're super old, but they're super cool. I
Yeah.
love them. Yeah. I even kept the cardboard I cut out the cardboard back because I had the pictures of them.
That's high level nerd.
Yeah.
Let's do that, man. We should do that.
Love
That'd be a fun
Yes,
episode.
Love that.
Maybe leading up to the Rise of Skywalker.
There you
Wow,
go.
Okay. Our
That
nerd
are on the same
cred's going
level
through
right
the
now.
roof.
It's really awesome.
So then I got this thing, which I've shown you already. Le Étonnant Spider-Man.
Oh yes.
Um,
It's always great getting superheroes in other languages.
Yeah.
And I have a story. Let's put this in the notes real fast.
Okay.
I have a story about a comic book in another language, and it was a whole deal.
oh,
comic
interesting.
book in other language. All right, sorry. But go on. My bad. I just had to, it
No,
was
you're
it
good.
was a Comic Con story I need to tell.
I just I wanted to buy a book in another language. French is the language.
we
most
got to
commonly
learn
spoken.
somehow.
Right? And then I thought it'd be cool to find a book that like I read in French. So I tried to find Walking Dead, which I thought would be great because I would have like an issue in both. I only found it in English there. Like I found Walking Dead, but just in English. There's a lot of stuff that's just in English.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
And then I was digging through some dollar bin at that comic book store I was talking about, just kind of like digging through there, and I found that issue Spider-Man, which I thought was crazy. That's also
super
where I
cool.
got that thing book, and I was like, this is perfect. I love this '90s Spider-Man art style, like this Amazing Spider-Man, like the Maximum Carnage time zone. I love that that stuff. So it was cool. It was cool to find. Sadly, this issue is super lame. It's like a 4-part series.
Yeah,
it's
how
like
they formatted them back then.
It was what were we talking about? Dare. It's like the Dare program, but in Spider-Man.
They really pushed that, the whole Spidey against drugs things, because it's his age range and whatnot.
Yeah,
but
totally.
I love how Ghost Rider looked in those books.
Me too. I mean, it's got. I'm glad it's in French, so I can't understand what it says, because then I think it's stupid.
I would love to do a little segment because I have a few comics in other languages as well.
Oh, really?
And I would love
Where
to bring them
in the world is this comic book episode? I don't know.
Dang, I just filled our list for
Dude, we're gonna
comic
be good
book
for next
ideas.
year.
Yeah.
Here's another one we can do, man. I also picked up Peter Panzerfaust while I was there. It's a 24-issue series about a character in World War II. But it's not just told from like, oh, we're shooting Nazis, but like a more emotional tale.
Really?
It's a really cool run. It's a really cool run from Image. For a long time, I only had the back half of it. I had like issues 16 through 24 or whatever. Because I got into it late. But while I was digging through that dollar box, it was just like, oh, here's issue 12. You know what I mean?
Cool.
It was just cool.
So
it was
it's
cool
like
to find
coming to
something
you.
that I've been looking for a long time, and just to find it totally just,
I kind of dig this artwork on it too.
it's really cool, man. It's got beautiful art. It's definitely an interesting series. Okay, let me see here. Here's like a big recommendation for what we should read soon.
Monstrous?
Little Birds.
Oh, Little Birds. Oh.
By Darcy Van Polgeest.
I have heard about this series.
It's only 5 issues, and here's all 5, so it's done.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's like a post-apocalypse kind of thing, sort of Mad Max, I guess. It takes place in Canada. So the craziest thing was when I was up there, like issue 4 had just come out, and I bought issue 4 and 3. I bought them both in Canada.
Nice.
So it's like a Canadian book, and 2 of them I have are from Canada.
That's too cool.
And then I got back, and then 5 was done. But just like flip through these covers really quick, just to kind of get an idea of like, I don't know, the art's so cool. The covers are great. What I really like about this writer, and I learned this while buying the book, this is not going to be released in trade paperback. It's only going to be available in single issue. And apparently, like, some writers are trying to encourage people to like go to a comic book store and buy the issues when they come out.
That is too cool. This art is gorgeous.
It's gorgeous, right? And I read the first 3 issues. The story's brutal and intense.
I'm very interested.
It would make an awesome episode. It's only 5 issues, and it's a pleasure to read. It's a joy to read.
Nice.
There's also some weird religious stuff. All right, I'm almost done here. I'm just going to go through these quickly. I have been reading all of Evangelion. Since
long
I've
is that
seen
series?
you, I've just been tearing through it. It's 7 books, I think.
Do you have them all?
Not yet, but I'm on my way. So
Because I was fairly interested in
and Evangelion only gets crazier because you only read the first book, right?
first 6 issues.
The first 6 issues. I have more than that now.
Nice.
But Evangelion is a story, like the TV show is 26 episodes, but
Is the Netflix version worth watching?
okay, well, you're gonna get me down a rabbit hole. Okay, let me go.
I need to know.
I'm gonna hit this real quick. So, all the Evangelion versions. Right now on Netflix, you can watch a version of Evangelion, the television show. It has been redubbed. So if you're gonna watch it in like with English voices, if that's something you're into, it's been recast since the original, which some people, myself included, but now I'll get into that. You kind of get, it's just weird because you grow up hearing these voices and then you watch, the dub and the voices are different. It's just a bummer.
Exactly, yeah.
It'd be like if Batman the Animated Series came out on Blu-ray, but they replaced all the voice actors.
That'd be terrible. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, guess what? You can't get that other one now. I have the original run of Evangelion on DVD.
Really?
I have the regular DVDs. I have 2 of the Platinum Collection. The Platinum Collection is 6 discs. They're like high rate transfers. They're beautiful. The ones I have are $200 a piece.
Dang.
And then I think the last disc is $800 on DVD. So the Evangelion prices went through the roof. You know what I mean? So now you can watch the show on Netflix. I would recommend watch it on Netflix.
Okay.
If you like watching it in Japanese, it doesn't really matter. the cast on this dub, at first I thought it's super lame. As soon as I finished watching it, I started watching the DVDs, and there are some really bad performances on the DVD too.
Oh, really?
That maybe I just kind of forgot.
Yeah,
So
you look over it. Yeah.
a couple characters are better, a couple are worse. I did notice that this dub is very clean. There's one character in particular that it gets into this weird like eroticism story about Shinji maybe being gay and having like feelings for a man. It's a weird little story towards the end. But in the Netflix one, they change it in the translation to kind of drop that feel.
Really?
There's also like a lot of little nuances that are changed. Like the characters just seem a little more passive in the new one. But you know that's up to you if you want to. I would recommend watching that one. There's also a movie on Netflix as well, The End of Evangelion, which I have on DVDs too. Same thing. The voices have been changed.
Yeah.
But that DVD is $300 or $400
wow.
now. It's insane how expensive it's gotten. The book, which I just started reading, Viz did this in the 90s where they started releasing stuff in comic book form.
I remember that with the Pokemon stuff too.
The
and
Pokemon one was
Yu-Gi-Oh
it's
stuff,
part of
yeah.
that same group. They were trying to get more American readers to pick up on anime, and they thought maybe if they look like comic books, they'd be into it.
Yeah.
It kind of didn't really work out. The book is weird because usually anime is based on a manga that's already existed. In this case, they made the show, and then the art director of the show made the manga and started developing
it. Yeah.
And it came out before the first episode. It's kind of confusing because both were in production. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the comic book beat it, even though the show was already done. Like, it beat it to air or to be released, but he'd already knew how it was going to end.
Yeah.
Long story short, though, the comic book changes a lot. So there's parts where a whole fleshed out episode, which are now like 3 or 4 panels, and vice versa. So it's kind of interesting to hear someone else's take. Evangelion's like notoriously hard to follow, and the comic book so far has been way easier to understand what's going on.
Would it be worth us to have a discussion about?
I would love to, but I can give you a definite answer once I finish reading it, which I'm probably going to order the rest of them this month.
Because I like to watch the show. The
show's cool.
I wouldn't mind. I kind of like watching it with the dub too. It's like Akira. I didn't like Akira with the English dub. I like watching it
in Japanese. Well, if that's the case, then I would recommend just watching Evangelion in Japanese.
Right. Yeah, just do that.
It would be great. It just depends. You know what I mean?
We'll be touching on some anime stuff soon.
This would be a great one. I mean, Evangelion's is top tier. It's pretty crazy.
The robots look awesome.
The robots are so cool.
Yeah.
And well, and another thing too, which I got to touch on real quick, in the show, especially towards the end, they didn't have a big budget at the time. So now it's a cult classic anime, but at the time they were barely making it.
Oh, wow.
So there was a lot of times where the episode is on a static screen and you don't even see the person's mouth moving because it's from the back.
Oh, I've noticed that.
So they do these shots to save money on animation so that when you get into the robot scene, it's like fluid. They like spent the whole budget there.
That's cool.
But what's cool about the comic book is like you get so much more expression from their faces.
Yeah.
Because like it's a traditional
it's a
Japanese
quick read.
thing.
Those first 6 issues are one sit down.
You go through it really fast too. That's true. And it's part of how manga's supposed to be. You know what I mean? Manga's like a thick book that you're supposed to read. Like reading it in a single issue format, it is cool, but it's a little more cumbersome. I think.
Yeah.
It takes a little bit longer. I read all of My Sonic Koku, which I've never finished before. Everyone's like, what is this?
Yeah, I'm like, what is this?
This is a book by Rumiko Takahashi, which is like a famous anime manga creator from the 80s. She did Ranma 1/2 and Inuyasha.
Okay.
Those are like the really famous ones she did. She did this one, Lum, 1 Pound Gospel. There's a couple more of them. This is part of the same thing from Viz, which I think was funny because I was reading 2 of these like at the same time from the same 90s series. And then there's advertisements for each book like in each other, so it was just cracking me up. I was reading it. This is a super adorable story. If you're into like Japanese comedy or whatever, it's a nice one, especially if you like Inuyasha. I won't go too much further than that, but I tore through that thing and it's probably 70 issues.
Nice.
Like I read a lot. Most of that I started buying when I was in high school and I just finished it. So that was super exciting.
That's cool.
Brandon got these books signed for me by Kirkman. Well, technically Kato did.
Technically Kato did, yeah. Because I saw him and I was like, let's get the pretty girl to go get the signature. And
it worked.
She got to meet him. She got to talk to him. Super nice guy. Really great condition books. It was the first I think it was Wednesday before the con even opened.
Yeah.
And we were already inside it because we have loading badges and whatnot. But yeah, she ran up to him, got the book signed, knocked it out, really sweet. Took a
That is
picture.
so
yeah,
awesome.
Yeah. Before that's how the show started, which is great. Before doors even opened.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
It's exciting. What a great time too. I wish I had given you my last issue now. I don't know, but it's all good. You know what I mean?
We'll knock it out.
This is an awesome one to get signed. Though,
I have
100.
a better copy of the last issue because yours I noticed the spine was.
You know
hit.
what? I bought it and the spine's all messed up. Isn't that super annoying?
I have a really good.
It was
copy.
like the
I'll get
one
it.
they gave me in my box. I'm like,
They
"Are you
had them
serious,
at the
dude?"
con too, but they had 193
Got it.
CGC 9 to 8 signed by, and it was numbered to like they had exclusive 193 copies.
Whoa.
And it was signed by Kirkman and everything, 9/8 CGC, but they were $193. Yeah. I was gonna offer it, but I was like, David,
That's ridiculous.
and-
No,
yeah.
I wouldn't spend
Yeah.
193 on that.
Yeah, yeah. It's one of those.
I'd be tempted, but I wouldn't do it. I didn't buy Kick-Ass, but I just read it. I read it on the plane.
How is it?
It's a cute story. You know what I mean?
have-
It's fun.
PDFs of all the volumes.
I never read it before, and I've had it for so long. It's a nice little story.
I'm a big Mark Miller fan, and I'm
Yeah.
a pretty big John Romita Jr. fan.
Have you read Space Bandits?
No.
I just read issue 1. It's actually really cool.
Yeah?
Yeah,
It's an Image book,
the
right?
new Mark Miller
Okay.
book.
That and the
I think it
Magic
is
Order
Image.
is one of his new ones too.
It was really enjoyable. It kind of felt like Cowboy Bebop, actually, which is weird.
Really?
Because I've just been watching a ton of anime.
How do you feel about Romita's artwork?
I really like it in this book.
Yeah.
To be honest, the only thing that I have as a criticism is Mark Miller comes off as like a little immature. Like he doesn't quite understand how people work,
Oh yeah.
like human relationships. Everything just seems so. It seems like it was written by a middle schooler. Like I don't know how else to describe it. So there's parts of that in the book where I was.
He had
kind
a
of
lot
just
of
like,
feedback
eh.
about that with the Ultimate Universe that he was writing. He
Oh,
kinda
really?
goes overboard sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, it
He's
just
like one of the
seems like a
greatest writers out there, but he gets a lot of criticism at the same time.
That's
But what makes
interesting.
him great? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Doesn't stop.
I mean, it's definitely not bad. There are some noticeable differences between
I
the
finally
book
saw
and,
that
and the
movie like a month ago.
Oh, really? You never seen the
I've
movie?
never seen the movie.
I
yeah.
want to watch the movie again because since I just finished reading it. I still haven't seen the second one, though.
Okay, there you go. Well, it's funny because Hit Girl is written by Kevin Smith right now.
Yeah.
And when I met Kevin Smith at Comic-Con this year, I got a Hit Girl print signed because that's the only way you could get
Oh,
your books done. So
okay.
it's kind of funny. How
weird.
Cross that. We could check it out.
Yeah.
I'd love to read it. I'd love to talk about it.
I wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to turn Kick-Ass into like an ongoing series, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like it is one
They
now.
did,
Hit Girl has one now.
Hit Girl and something else. They have a new Kick-Ass, right?
Yeah, they have a new
Yeah.
Kick-Ass as well. I'm kind of curious to see where that goes because
Yeah.
this for sure seems like it was just supposed to be a self-contained story.
And then it kind of blew up
Kick-Ass
after
is done.
that.
Yeah,
I
but then it got
really
popular.
enjoyed the movie.
The movie's cool.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
And actually, maybe I'll get some flack for this, but the movie's better than this comic book is.
Really?
I would say. Like,
I wouldn't. I mean, it was a phenomenal movie.
yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
The movie, I think, takes
actors
the
and
premise and
everything was
nails
great.
it.
Is there a Hit Girl movie?
There is not. Which,
Okay.
in this universe, it's Kick-Ass, Hit Girl, then Kick-Ass 2, I think.
Okay.
Is how you read it.
All right.
Um,
Don't you have all of them?
I have Hit Girl, Kick-Ass 2, and I have Kick-Ass 3.
Okay.
I don't think I have Hit Girl 2. It's confusing.
Yeah.
And now it's even more confusing because that new series is just called Hit Girl.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, now I got to look at the year number
Yeah,
and like
check that out.
And that happened to me with Batman Beyond. I was trying to buy a couple
Oh,
issues
me
of Batman
too.
Beyond,
Yeah.
and then I bought
There's
one from like 2003 or something.
2.0, and then there's
Yeah.
all this other stuff. There's
I'm all
Batman
frustrated about it.
Rebirth, and yeah.
I might just
know.
get rid of him. To be honest, I might just see if you want him.
All right.
Like if
Those
you're
might-
down, because I was like trying to give it a chance, and then I just got so frustrated.
There's a couple of them I really enjoyed the covers for.
The covers are
Yeah.
cool.
Did you read the Nightwing story arc?
No, see, I can't even figure out where I'm at. You
I know.
what I mean?
I know. It took me a while. Believe me. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it tells you what happens to Nightwing and all that too.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's
really
cool.
stuff.
I'd be down for that.
And then, not Dick. Terry abandons Bruce, and he trains with Dick after that.
Whoa, that's crazy. Well, haven't we all wanted to do that? No, I'm just
It would be cool to do a Batman Beyond episode because it's the 20th anniversary.
yeah,
this
and
year,
I was gonna
too.
say they just talked about that at Comic-Con. I saw an interview with like Will Friedle,
Yeah.
who voices Terry, and
One of my favorite series ever.
man, I can't believe I'm forgetting Batman's name.
Kevin Conroy.
The man, yeah, Kevin
Yeah.
Conroy. They were both there.
Yeah. They were at Hall H. I was surprised. Typically, like
That's,
Batman
like,
the Animated
big
Series,
stuff.
yeah, that's a hard stuff to get into. It's just not worth it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
waste 4 days in
That's
line.
what I've heard, yeah.
But when they did the 20th anniversary Batman the Animated Series panel, it was just in a regular room that I know
Yeah.
of, and it was easy to catch. I got Kevin Conroy in a bunch of books, same with
Really?
Tara Strong,
Wow.
yeah. But I really wanted to get Wilfred L because I have a Batman Beyond #1, and I have the Return of the Joker movie adaptation, and I want to get Will Freddy on them, and I want to get Kevin Conroy. Tara Strong, I think, was involved in Return of the Joker, but I need to get Paul Dini in both those books because I only got Bruce Timm.
I'll have to send you with my copy of Boy Meets World Season 1 on DVD to get signed by Will
Yes.
Friedle.
If I ever get him, yes.
If I ever met Will Friedle, that would be all my questions. I'd be like, yeah, Batman Beyond, shut up.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, what was it like being Eric Matthews? That's what I want to know, man. Which is the weirdest casting ever.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
Like, when he was Batman, I was like, what?
What?
This
Yeah.
is Eric, this
But
is
it
the older
works
brother?
so well.
It's great.
I mean, one day they'll do a Batman Beyond movie.
Maybe. We'll have to see.
Maybe. So
Who's
worth
the
it.
guy who did the show? Paul Dini? No.
Paul Dini and
Paul Dini. He was on
Bruce
that
Timm.
interview too, and Paul Dini was like, I hope they don't do a movie.
Wait, is he the bigger guy?
I think no, it was a smaller guy. Maybe it was Bruce Timm.
Maybe it was Bruce Timm. Was he real stern, gray hair?
Yeah, that's
yeah,
him.
it's Bruce Timm.
He was like, yeah, I hope they don't do the movie because this is like my creation. You know what I mean? I don't even want to mess around with it.
Oh,
it was
there you
really
go.
funny, like the
Yeah,
way
that's
he
why they don't
talked
touch
about
a
it.
lot of stuff in
Yeah.
that. But there is speculation because of DC Universe that they may do Batman Beyond Season 5.
Oh, I heard about that.
Yeah, so that would be
Which
great.
they could do.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just take place in the future, you know what I mean?
I'd be down to check it out.
I would
mean,
love
and
that.
it's animated. They don't even have to.
Yeah.
They could literally just pick up exactly where they left off and
Yeah.
just have
Just
everyone do the
continue
voice
stuff,
again.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm down. I'm wholeheartedly down. I will check out that Blu-ray. I don't know if you heard the details, though. There's a couple episodes that aren't going to be in HD.
Really?
Like, something to do with the original print not being available. So you're going to have
Oh,
all these
wow.
beautiful remastered episodes,
then a
and then a
couple-
couple that are just... They couldn't do it, which is such a bummer.
It depends what episodes they are, too.
I guess that's
Yeah.
true, but still.
Yeah.
I haven't read totally into it, but what they need to do to get this box set right is include the movie,
Yes.
include that episode of Static Shock that has Batman Beyond,
Yes.
and include the Justice League
yep,
episode.
epilogue.
That's the end.
Yeah.
So that would be awesome if they could put all of that stuff in one set.
That'd be sold.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm so down.
I'll probably buy it no matter what. I bought the
Well, you
Batman.
gotta buy it no matter what.
The,
Yeah,
the
because
Blu-ray one.
it's the continuation.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like super literal, I guess, but okay. One last thing I have over here. I was at Rebels Comics in El Paso,
yes.
Texas,
I remember hearing this.
which is weird because when I was in high school, that's where I bought a majority of those My Sonic Koku books.
On the east side?
Yeah,
Wow.
when it was across the street from Hank's.
Oh, yeah.
I would just go there for lunch and just buy comic books. I was in there this last time, and I gotta say, man, Rebels Comics, and I almost feel like I hope this guy doesn't hear this ever because this is gonna be so mean, but Rebels Comics is kind of like just a sad old store.
Yeah.
I don't know what purpose it serves.
I've heard. I don't want to start speculation, but I've
Yeah.
just heard stories about them.
Well, all I'm gonna say is, dude, their selection is just like it looked like there was nothing new since I was there in high school.
Dang.
Like everything is minimum 15, 20 years old. Like there's no new books, like, and it's all Marvel and DC. There's no like, oh, here's like Image or anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's really weird. I don't understand who he's selling comic books to.
Oh, wow.
It's got to be just like die-hard, like Silver Age collectors, I guess. Like
Is
even.
that all they had? Well, maybe Bronze
And
Age.
there's some classics too, like up on the wall that you're gonna buy for an expensive price. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not that they're overpriced or anything. I just thought the selection was lame.
Okay.
It was like if you went to a used bookstore from the 1980s. So it's like everything is old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
It's
there's
just been
nothing
sitting there
new.
and they opened up.
Yeah,
Like-
like it smells like dust. Like, I don't know. I was a little bit bummed out. I mean, I guess if you're into Hero Clicks, it would be a good store to check out. That's a
cool.
huge thing. I'm not really into it.
It's another thing I don't want to spend my money on.
That's how I view things. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, oh, no, I can't get into Hero
I'm starting
Clicks.
to get into
I'll
action
spend too
figures
much
right
money.
now, and it's terrible.
Dude, action figures take up space and they're expensive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta cut some stuff out, right? Anyway, I bought this Spider-Man: Fearful Symmetry, Craven's Last Hunt,
Yes.
because I've just known about how great of a story it is,
Yeah.
having never read it. And he was selling it for $15.
Oh, cool.
So I picked up
snag.
this hardcover issue, and then when I took it home, It's a first printing of the
Oh,
paperback.
wow.
So this is like the first collection.
This is too cool. I've
Um,
always wanted to read the series. I really haven't. I think I have most of it in single issue myself. But it's, I mean, praised for like crazy.
Yeah, and I've
And
been
it
reading.
has that famous cover where he's digging himself out of the grave. You know what I mean? That's one of the
Yeah,
coolest things. And
that
the black
famous
suit.
Batman issue. But it's been a Spider-Man filled summer. You know, I platinumed Spider-Man on PS4. I destroyed it.
Have you done all the DLCs?
all of it? Like,
Ready? I'm on the
100%
second
it.
DLC right now. I just started picking it back up.
Do you know about all the costumes?
About most of them. I just got the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 Iron Armor.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
Oh, do you want me to tell you what one of them is, or would you rather not know?
Just tell me. I already got like the Far From Home. We need to talk about Far From Home.
The
right
last
after
one
this.
you get
Uh-huh.
is Into the Spider-Verse Spider-Man costume, like Peter Parker, and he's got like that torso that's super huge and everything. It's so cool, dude.
That's so cool.
It's so
I'm
cool.
gonna go home and play it.
I'm just upset that it's the last one because once you're done, you're like, well, what am I gonna do? You know what I mean?
Aw.
But it's a
Yeah.
lot of fun that
just
that
a web
version's
swing
in
around
there.
and hang out. I used to do that with the Spider-Man 2. It was just like, I'm just gonna web swing for half an
Yeah,
hour. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Fight a couple crimes or something.
Yeah. I try to keep them open.
So that game was great, and then I played. I'm playing Marvel
Ultimate
Alliance 3, the Black Order,
yeah.
on Switch, which has been a lot of fun.
And I was a big Ultimate Alliance fan as a kid. Me and Sam used to play that stuff religiously. Like, I have that whole game memorized.
It hasn't changed, like combat-wise, like all of that feels the
the
same.
mess where you're just meshing buttons.
You're just
Yeah.
smashing buttons, which is good and bad.
Yeah.
I think the combat could be a little more.
How's the story, though? Because the
nuanced.
second one, that's what kept me in, was the story.
So far, the story's pretty good. I'm not
Yeah.
that far, and to be honest, I kind of wish I bought Fire Emblem because I bought Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, and no one's gonna play it with me. And I'm just gonna be pulling teeth trying to get someone to play it with me.
I would love to play if I bought one.
Yeah, that's the only like solution. But right now, I feel kind of dumb because Ultimate Alliance is a game that you have to play with someone else.
Yeah.
It's not a
hard to
game you play by
yourself.
yourself. It's like Gauntlet. You don't play it by yourself, or you're a loser.
Yeah.
It's the Infinity Saga. It's another take on it.
Really? That's
you're
cool.
you're going as a group from one person to another, taking the stones before Thanos shows up.
That's cool.
The cast is the entire MCU film plus a few more
Really?
people plus
That's
like
cool.
the X-Men and stuff like that.
Oh, nice.
You also get Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Spider-Gwen.
Ooh.
There's a ton of Spider roster in there.
That's cool.
So it's been a good Spider summer. Life Story's almost wrapped up.
Yes, I really want to read it. I've heard nothing.
the
Chip
last one's
Zdarsky is awesome.
The
Like,
la-
I love that guy.
The last one, it almost had a tear come out of you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was so emotional. The last issue.
It's funny,
So-
Chip Zdarsky, the writer, we got in a lift during Comic-Con, and we were talking to the guy, and he's like, oh, yeah, the guy just drove was a comic book writer. He said his name was Chip something and blah, blah. I just dropped him off before you guys. I was like, Chip Zdarsky?
Yeah.
You got to hang out with him? He's like, yeah, he was a great guy and all this. And it was
That's
just funny. It
hilarious.
was just that we caught him right after.
That must be a really exciting time to be a Lyft driver. Like, who
They
knows
hate
who's
it.
going to show up?
They
Oh,
hate
really?
it. They hate it so much. Every
So many
single one of
people?
them. They hate Comic-Con people. San Diego hates Comic-Con.
Maybe that's just like a taxi / Lyft thing.
Yeah.
Just to be like, these tourists
Yeah, exactly.
giving me money.
As far as I know, like half the people that live in San Diego just leave town that week.
Really?
They just can't
Well,
stand it. Yeah,
Yeah, I guess you can't blame them.
yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot of new people. Like you have like 100,000 travelers for
Yeah, that's insane. Like when you can't book a hotel room, that's when you know it's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Like when stuff's just sold
or
out.
when stuff is quadruple the regular price.
So do you want to talk about Spider-Man or do you want to?
Spider-Man first. We'll segue
Okay, let's
into
hit Spider-Man
Comic-Con.
real quick.
Far From Home.
What'd you think?
All right.
Uh,
Honestly, it's probably in my top 3 Spider-Man movies.
yeah, I would agree. I think
Yeah.
it's for sure my top 3, and I can give you my definitive top 3 right now. Spider-Man 2.
There you go.
It's still untouched.
Yeah, because it's
too
Spider-Man
good.
2, and it's nostalgic at this point.
It's nostalgic is a big part of it.
Yeah.
It's got Dashboard Confessional. That's a small part of it. But it's just great storytelling, man.
It is. It has some great
Yeah.
memorable moments and Spidey moments.
And it's got a
all
great
that.
Spider-Man arc too.
Yeah.
And then Doc Ock is such a fleshed out villain.
And I love Doc Ock.
You can feel his pain. You can understand him.
Great actor for him.
The second one I would say is Into the Spider-Verse.
Hands down.
So good.
Hands down.
This one I would put right at number 3.
I agree.
It's been the best Tom Holland Spider-Man
Oh,
appearance.
yeah. I enjoyed Homecoming,
Yeah.
but I felt like I didn't even watch it a second time. but I
It's
enjoyed
okay.
it. It
Yeah.
was good. I loved Michael Keaton. I loved
feel
all
like
that stuff.
Maybe you said it, but it doesn't feel like it's entirely a Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
And it might be because of Iron Man. It might be also because of Spider-Man's reliance on technology, which I'm not totally sold with. Like the whole Spider-Man suit with the weapons and everything. I mean, I get what they're trying to do.
Yeah,
and
but
now
it
he's
was
Tony
too
Stark's
fast of a jump.
replacement.
I wanted
Yeah.
the regular Spidey suit
You
first.
you never really get just Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like swinging around.
Yeah.
So that's a bit of a bummer.
And a quick rant. I love the film. I thought Mysterio was perfect. I thought
Dude,
they nailed Mysterio.
Mysterio was great.
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
sold until like he revealed it. I was waiting for it, and
Yeah.
and then they revealed his whole scheme, and I was like, yes.
And
yes!
they do it in a great
Like,
way too, where they bring in like old MCU moments.
Yeah.
Like they really tie it together.
My biggest gripe, and I've had this gripe for the last like 6 films, for the whole saga of Infinity, is that everything is Tony Stark's fault. Every single thing that's ever happened, every villain, every mishap,
Ultron.
everything is Tony
Yeah.
Stark's fault. And I'm sick of everything weighing on Tony Stark. I
Huh.
don't care. Like, stop. He caused everything.
I see what you're saying.
If
yeah.
Tony Stark didn't exist in this universe, it'd be a very peaceful universe.
But that's what makes him a tragic character, Brandon.
Yeah, I'm sick of it.
No, I see what you're saying
Yeah.
though. It is too much on the same note.
Yeah.
Which I'm hoping now that this phase is over, we're gonna get away from all this Tony Stark
Yes,
nonsense.
Please. Like, he's
Just
dead.
give it a rest. He's dead. Yeah, you guys have beaten him to death.
Yeah.
Okay, let it go. No, I can agree with that.
Yeah.
What did you think about MJ? What did you think about Mary Jane?
Okay. When I saw Homecoming,
Yeah,
I was pissed.
because you're racist.
No, it just wasn't
No.
the MJ I've always known. Like,
Yeah.
do what you want, and watching Far From Home
Mm-hmm.
completely changed my perspective. 100%.
I wasn't totally behind the character the whole time, and then at the end of it, I was like, oh, okay. Like, I was upset because Mary Jane was not in any way how Mary Jane ever acts.
Yeah.
Totally different.
Yeah, totally different.
But then I thought about it, and in the movie, she's actually like her own character.
Yeah.
Where Mary Jane is usually just, oh,
The pretty
Pete,
girl. Yeah, you know
go
what I
get
mean?
him, Tiger. Like,
Yeah.
that's it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
But
It's
she had,
cool
like-
that she's like a person.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
And they kept on saying, "You're 16. You're 16. You're 16."
Yeah.
Like, I mean, she has so much evolution to go through,
Mm-hmm.
and she was actually, like you said, her character was very strong, and I really understood like the way she was, the way she thought, like
Mm-hmm.
motives, her whole love aspect. Like, it's a really good modern take
Yeah.
on MJ.
I thought it was great.
And I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I didn't have any gripes about her on this one.
No, that's
and I
good.
would love to see her on another film and
Yeah.
see what
a
they do
solo
now.
Mary Jane movie.
They're doing a solo Mary
No,
Jane
I'm just
comic.
joking. Oh, are they really?
Yeah. With like 20 variant covers.
What?
Yes.
Is she going to be a reporter? Is it going to be like Spider-Man?
It's like Lois Lane, but
What they should do is like make you read 6 issues of Spider-Man, and then the 7th issue is a Mary Jane solo comic
So they
that
could
you just
sell it?
have to get through,
yeah.
and then it's like another 6 issues. It'll be just like the video game.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, even in the video game, I love the Mary Jane in the
Oh,
video
really?
game. Yeah.
I like her character. I just hate those stealth sections. They drive me nuts
They
because
just drive me.
they're so easy.
Yeah.
It's like
You just gotta
why am I
wait,
doing
and then
this?
you're just like, bam.
or I could just be Spider-Man and just swing in here and kick all these guys real quick.
Yeah.
So
And that's what I like doing because
that's
I'm
what I like
Spider-Man.
doing, too.
Like Batman, I get.
Yeah.
Be stealthy, be scary. But I'm Spider-Man. I'm wearing a red and blue costume. I
Yeah.
want to just jump. Hey.
Hey, stop. Give
Dude,
me some
honestly, the
one-liners.
game started getting hard on some missions too.
Yeah, there's somewhere it gets very difficult.
Yeah, the Hammerhead. I'm on the second DLC, and the Hammerhead bases are so hard.
Yeah,
to
they-
really like concentrate and
they
know
toss you
all
some
my
hard
web
stuff,
tactics.
yeah.
Yeah, but I loved it.
Do you use the electric fists? That special?
No, I use the Iron Spider special
okay.
because you just beat everybody.
Yeah,
with
yeah,
that
it
one.
hits through everything.
Yeah, even the big dudes.
You should
in
try
that.
the fists if you
Yeah.
can't get any further, because it branches out. It
Oh,
gets
oh yeah,
multiple
and
people.
it freezes them for a
Yeah.
second. You're right. Yeah.
It's not a bad one.
Well, I had a segue to go from Spider-Man into Comic-Con, and I don't even remember it anymore.
Well,
yeah.
it's done.
But Comic-Con!
Comic-Con.
50th anniversary.
Wow.
I
Wow.
went, and I'm back.
I was there.
We were there all. Technically, it's like 5 days because it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Wow.
Because
okay,
Wednesday
yeah.
night's preview night.
Yeah.
And we have a very fortunate Comic-Con experience. Like, if I didn't get to experience Comic-Con the way I get to experience it, I don't think I would A, do it,
Okay.
or B, even remotely enjoy it as much.
Do you mean because you're part of like who do you go with?
I go with this guy named Rich Hen.
Okay.
And our friends Tristan and Laura, but they have a
Okay.
booth there, and
That's right.
We help them get stuff done because they get signatures, and they've taught me everything I know on like Ninja Hallway and getting
Okay.
signatures, and what books to get and get signed. And,
Okay.
for my collection to make some money off the trip because it's a super expensive trip. Like,
Yeah.
I learned that my first 2 years when I would just buy stuff for myself, I'd come back broke for 6 months after that. But at least I'm able to keep myself afloat a little bit. 'Cause
Yeah.
you're spending a lot every day because you want everything around you.
Yeah,
you know
I mean,
what I mean?
it's an amazing place. Yeah.
It's insane. But I'm very fortunate to help these people out, and Rich Hand, he has his own comic that he sells there, and also he brings in David Lloyd, the artist from V for Vendetta,
Yeah.
and he hangs out at the table there. So they have a booth, they have a whole little table set up, and it's kind of like our base of operations.
Okay.
And it's somewhere where I could sit down in the middle of the day. It's somewhere where I could put my stuff,
Yeah.
and take it day by day and all that.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Whereas if you were just there, it might be like
It's rough.
It's
and
like
I see people like
exhausting,
that
and
with
you're like-
carrying everything,
and you're just passed out on the floor or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so rough.
Okay.
And also, I help them set up their booth, and I help them operate their booth and everything. So being on their little team, I get loading badges, which means I could go into the convention before it opens. And that's very essential.
Yeah.
Because if not, you have to. I mean, the con opens at like 9:30 every day, 9:30, depending what they feel like they're
Okay.
going to do that day. And people are waiting outside at 7 a.m. to get in first. I'm lucky I could just call me like, hey guys, I'm here, and I get to go in, and I
Yeah.
prep my day. I try to think of what booths I want to hit up and everything, and where I try to get, because they give out tickets every morning for wristbands to get signatures, and exclusives fly like crazy. Like, I got to get in the Hasbro line this year, which was insane. I'll tell you about that in a bit.
Okay.
But it's a very fortunate experience.
Yeah.
And I'm very lucky to do what I do and know these people and be part of their team.
Yeah.
So fortunate. And they're great people. I love hanging out with them every day. Like, I had a phenomenal time, and I network like crazy. But Wednesday it kicks off, and that's the day I got as many exclusives as I could.
Okay.
Like my friend Sam, I got him that Batman Predator NECA exclusive.
Oh, okay.
Because I got mine on the pre-order, which comes in today. I can't wait to
Ooh.
show that off. And just stuff like that. You want to get your exclusives that day. I got this die-cast Batmobile that I'll post some pictures on the Instagram and show off
Cool.
and everything. But it was a $50 Batmobile. There's only 300 of them made, and they sold out by, I think, Thursday night, Friday morning. I think Thursday night, actually.
Yeah.
But it is gorgeous, dude. It is a just silver die-cast Batman the Animated Series Batmobile, and it is pristine. Words can't explain how beautiful this thing is. I don't even remember whatever exclusives I got because it's such a blur at this point. Because every second while you're there is just nonstop fast, and I chase down signatures. I try to get all the artists I want to get. Bill Sienkiewicz is in love with my girlfriend. In love with her. He remembered her from last year.
Really?
And dude, that guy's in love with her. Like, hands down. He's just signing stuff for her without question or anything.
You better watch out, Brandon.
Yeah, that dude, he has way more talent than me, so I mean,
Yeah.
there you go. But his art dealer hates Kato because of that. Because
Really?
he'll just sign her stuff, and he charges like $5 a signature, and he's just
wow.
like, oh, whatever. And then we're just like, thank you, so we get our books done real quick like that.
That's hilarious.
It's great. I got a phenomenal. I don't think I showed it to you, but Tony Daniel, a very popular Batman artist, in general, very popular artist. But I got a Swamp Thing sketch cover done by him, and it is amazing.
Okay.
So amazing that I was talking about it with other people, like, oh, I got this done, blah, blah. And they were like, that was yours? Dude.
Wow.
And it was like a good little, I was hearing about it throughout the convention all 4 days.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And on Instagram and everything, people were commenting about it and all that. So it was a
Wow.
cool snag. Bruce Timm, I think, hates us.
Really?
Yes. So for the Bruce Timm sketches are super hard to get.
Okay.
Typically, the last, I've gone. This is my 4th year. Every year I've gone, he would just bring out a portfolio. Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. But he has a bunch of his sketches that he already did.
Okay.
And you buy them $100 a piece, and they're already pre-done. But if you're not there, he just takes them out randomly, plops it down. He knows they're gonna sell real fast,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they don't take it whenever he's just like, no, we're not selling anymore today. This year he had a sketch list open, and it was a list. You put your name down, you put a character down that you want, and he tells you it may not get done. You pay if it does get done. They're $200 a piece.
Okay.
And I just choose whatever I want to do.
Okay.
And if you get it, then you get it. If not, then that's sorry. So I put down my name, and I wanted a Spawn sketch cover because Todd McFarlane was there, and skeptical about the movie that probably won't happen. Kato put down a Swamp Thing, and he did both of them.
Whoa.
Yeah. And so we go to pick him up, and I'm asking if he did the sketches. He's just like, yeah, I did that one and that one. And he's like, wait, both of them are yours? I was like, no, one's my girlfriend's, one's mine.
Yeah.
He's like, you guys are together?
Yeah.
And we're like, yeah. Like, we both asked for a sketch, it's a big opportunity. And we came back to pick him up, and his, dealer, the girl that was helping us, she was like, yeah, he was kind of upset because he thought it was really unfair that both of you came up to get sketches, and you both got them, and that you're together. Like, he just thought it was really unfair. And I was like, you know what? He chose the characters.
That is pretty unfair. I mean, and it's not really for Kato, you know what I mean?
Oh no, she loved it. She wanted the Swamp Thing. Yeah,
yeah,
but
I mean,
yeah.
It's just,
it's
she's not going to put it in her diary or something.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
it's going to be hanging up in your comic book.
It is
room.
in the comic book room. Yeah. He thought it was really upsetting and whatnot. But hey, I now have three Bruce Timm
But he
sketches.
took that money, didn't he?
Yeah.
But he took that
But
money.
he got paid,
Yeah.
But now I have three Bruce Timm
Wow.
sketches. I have The Question that I got last
Okay.
year, and this year I got a Spawn, which Kato got signed by Todd McFarlane later on. So I'll post up a
crazy.
picture of
Okay.
it. And then I got the Swamp Thing really fast. Let me show them to you. I don't think I've shown them to you yet. Have I?
No, I don't think so.
No? I think I just might have showed Frank or Danny. But they are phenomenal sketches, and in fact, here's all three of them. Here's My Question.
Yeah, I remember
You've seen
that
one. And then this is the Spawn.
Wow.
Too cool. I got a great Spawn
That's
t-shirt.
really
I had to really
good.
rep it. And this is the Swamp Thing.
Oh.
He's all bulky looking. It's hilarious. Yeah. But phenomenal stuff. I really enjoyed it. I got this great Silver Surfer black poster, and I got the variant cover by Scott Williams, and it's just too cool. We met a lot of people this year. Kevin Smith, the cast of the Orville.
Yeah.
Todd McFarlane, and that stuff you just have to flip at that point. I don't want it.
Like
the
what?
Orville.
Oh,
I've never
okay.
seen Seth MacFarlane. Is that? Yeah,
Seth
he
MacFarlane.
wasn't there.
Really?
It was just like the cast and the directors and the writers and all
That's
that.
interesting.
Yeah, he
Okay.
doesn't do stuff. It's too big for him, basically. Or
Really?
yeah, like he doesn't want that many people around him.
Okay, well, fair enough.
One of my favorite snags was Creepshow is one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
Like, I'm into, my genre of horror is The Thing and Creepshow
Yeah.
and ridiculous stuff like that.
Okay.
And they released a new Creepshow book by Heavy Metal.
I've heard about this.
Yes, so I picked up a copy and I got 2 books signed. Kelly Jones was an artist; he got it signed
Okay.
there too.
That's cool.
Super cool. I can't wait to read it. And,
I heard they're making a new movie too. Or is it
TV show.
remaking? That's what it is. TV show.
I'm super excited for it.
Huh,
I
that's
would
gonna be
love to
cool.
go over Creepshow in general. Like, that'd be a CLE or something.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be a great episode.
We did. Oh, another big issue that came out while we were at the convention was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles '95, where they have the first female Ninja Turtle. And
What?
the book blew up, so I got a bunch of copies.
I mean, she's not the first female Ninja Turtle though. They already did that.
Did they?
Yeah, they did that years ago.
When?
I gotta figure it out. There's already a fifth female Ninja Turtle.
Really?
I'm pretty sure.
I don't know, but it's a
Okay.
huge deal. I'm not like a Teenage Mutant Ninja
I'm gonna
Turtle
look it
reader.
up, and then you tell me more about this.
What else? I mean, the convention itself is beautiful too. It's huge. It's epic. They have all these amazing booths. What's lucky about us, since we go there early, we plan our day, so we know to hit up Dark Horse, we know to hit up Image, or we go straight to the DC booth, whatever. Comic Sketch Art does a bunch of the big DC signings, like Tom King, and we did get to meet Tom King again this year, which was phenomenal. Mitch Gerards. I told Tom King and Mitch about my short film. I did this short film for work. It was a 2-minute short film. It was all based on Mr. Miracle stuff. And like nobody understood it except for like two of my friends,
yeah.
because it's so obscure and everything. But he told me to send it to him, and Mitch said the same thing because they want to watch it, and I'm really excited to upload it and send it over.
Oh, that's cool.
So that was super cool. Saw Kevin Eastman again, creator of the Ninja Turtles. Super great guy. I didn't get a sketch this year. I typically get a sketch from him, but not this year. I met Tom DeLonge of Blink-182.
Yeah, I heard the story already.
It was
there's Venus DeMilo,
really
the female Ninja Turtle from the 90s.
That is too cool.
She was in the TV series that came out
Was she
after
ever in the
movies.
comic?
I don't know.
I think this might be the first one in the comic. Then.
That's probably what's going on.
Yeah, that could be it, because it's such a huge book and it sold out like crazy. Like they're already on their third printing or something, and it came out like 2 weeks ago. So
that's cool.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's a good book that'll get value over time.
So what about getting your childhood hero totally upset at you?
Oh yeah. So we went to this coffee shop, Skybound. It's funny, it's called Skybound Coffee.
Yeah.
And there's Skybound is a part of
Are they
Image.
related
No relation.
That's really ironic.
Yeah. But phenomenal coffee, great breakfast. We went there every day. It's 2 minutes
Great
away.
breakfast.
Yeah. It kept us going the whole time. Huge
Yeah.
sandwiches. But we would go there every morning before the convention, 2 blocks away from there. So we get dropped off, get our food. And so we get in, there's a long line. So we sit down for a second on this random bench, and there's just like a random backpack right there. It was some kids across from it on some seats or whatever.
Okay.
It was like, it's all separated. And I was like, the kids are all hyper and everything. And I was like, whatever. But this girl comes over and she just takes her backpack and she goes up to the guy at the cash register, and I think she was basically saying like, I think those guys stole our seats and all that. And the guy was like, oh, whatever, we're gonna take off all that. And he kind of looked at us and kind of gave an eye. It looked like he gave an eye.
Yeah.
And Kato was just like, that's Tom DeLonge. And I was just like, no. And I look at him and I see the black long sleeves and I see his Ford hat and it's all super low, and he's even facing himself kind of awkward.
He's reading a book about aliens.
Yeah, right? And it was Tom.
That's crazy.
It was crazy. So,
That's so
when he was
funny.
walking back, and I was like, oh, I'll get the door for you, because he's carrying all this stuff for the kids and all that. And I was like, Tom. And then we said hi, and he took a picture and he talked for a quick second, but he ran off with his kids. But it was probably, I always get starstruck once at Comic-Con, and this was outside of the convention, but this is the only time I got starstruck this year. Was just Tom DeLonge was right there. Yeah, little childhood hero, and I
so
freaked
funny.
out. But great, I got to meet Tom finally, which
That's
was
really
amazing.
cool.
I haven't met him since I was like 14 at a Warp Tour or something like that. Like, I swear. We did get tickets to see Conan O'Brien.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and it is the greatest thing, but the worst experience to go through getting the tickets.
Really?
Like, one, you sign up for them, it's like a lottery. They just randomly choose
Okay.
you to see if you could even try to get tickets.
Okay.
Once they say, hey, you get tickets, you have to come pick them up. We got to the ticket booth opens at 9:30. We got there at 7:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And the line was already wrapped around and split off the block into a new block, and that's where we were at. We waited until 10 o'clock to get our tickets for 2.5 hours. All we did was shower, wake up, and
Yeah.
go get it. We were starving, we were tired, we were hungry. It's a terrible experience
Yeah.
just standing there for 2.5 hours waiting. But we scored our tickets. We went to the convention for a bit, got some stuff done, got some
Yeah.
signatures and all that. And then we went back, and on the way back, so pooping is a big issue at Comic-Con because every bathroom is destroyed. But this
Whoa.
bathroom at the hotel next to the Speckles Theater,
Okay.
I think it was like the Wingate or something, had the most amazing toilet I've ever had the glorious chance
Okay.
to use, and it was so relieving, and it was great. But it was just a great moment in my trip, very memorable. But we get to Speckles Theater, and it is the coolest thing ever, dude. Like, Conan shows are so much fun. It's the second time I've been
Okay.
able to see Conan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I
That's
got
cool.
to see him 2 years ago. And this cast this year that I got to see was awesome. One, they brought out, it's a Thursday episode, you could look it up and
Okay.
everything, but they brought out Negan and what's his face?
Daryl
from
Norman
The Walking
Reedus,
Dead. Norman
yeah.
Reedus, yeah. And they were surprise guests, and they
Okay.
did a whole little skit with them. And then Tom Cruise was there that day.
Oh, I heard about that.
And he talked
Yeah.
about Top Gun, and he was honestly hilarious. He even did lines from Tropic Thunder and stuff like that, because they were asking him about
Yeah.
his comedy roles and all that, and it was so awesome. I
hilarious.
scored a T-shirt that they were giving out, and I was able to catch it, and I was super hyped about that.
Cool.
And Tom Cruise was saying that he did all the flying in Maverick. He's like a legit pilot, and he's just like, yeah, all of that. Like, I even made sure the actors for Maverick were up to learning how to fly these jets, and all the flying in that movie is apparently real.
That's crazy.
Yeah, super crazy. They lost like 4 people because they couldn't handle the flying aspect.
Really?
Yeah, and they would just replace them. Yep.
That's super bizarre.
So all the when you see them going to like Mach 8 or whatever, and that's all real.
That's all real.
Yeah, and all the flight scenes are real.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty awesome.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that adds a whole new layer to
Top Gun. Tom Cruise was saying he's just like, for every role, I just get super immersed, and I'm always taking classes about everything in the world.
Yeah.
Like, I need to know how to do everything so I can act to everything. And I was just like, legit. Like, I got no respect for him. I'm not a big Tom Cruise fan.
Cruise,
yeah,
but that's cool.
But it's cool. It was cool hearing that. And then what else? They did a bunch of other stuff, but Conan's just funny. They make you get super hyped up, and they have this great little skit to get you like energized and everything before the show starts. The band they have is phenomenal. It was just a lot of fun. Tons of fun. And at the end, they had a skit that they weren't able to air on TV.
Really?
Yeah. They had a King Kong versus Godzilla skit.
Wow.
And they had a little model of San Diego, and they brought out a dog in a King Kong costume and another dog in a Godzilla costume. And they had the whole thing lined up a treat so they could walk through it and destroy it. And one dog just got like stage fright, and he just got scared and he wouldn't go in it. And the other one, the King Kong one, was just tearing everything up. What? And then Conan's just like, we're not even gonna like air this, like blah blah. He was all cussing and everything. And it was super cool. It was super fun. Just being able to see that and be immersed in all that. It was a lot of fun. We met Kevin Smith. I'm a big Kevin Smith fan. I know you don't like Kevin Smith.
His movies aren't good.
They're not good. But I do like Chasing Amy. I like Chasing Amy and Mallrats.
That's the one everyone hates on. That really confuses me, Chasing Amy.
I love Chasing Amy.
I've never seen Chasing Amy. Mallrats is all right.
I love Mallrats. I connect so hard with Mallrats.
Clerks is truly bad. Clerks is terrible.
Clerks is bad, but I'm such a loser that I do enjoy it.
Clerks 2 I
didn't like.
I mean, I'm not in the majority either. There's a ton of people like Kevin Smith.
Yeah, I found that out. I'm not like. There was a guy we were standing next to that was like cosplay as Kevin Smith and all this stuff. Yeah, and he was an extra in the new movie and all that. Wow. And I'll like check out Blunt Man and Chronic. Like, I'm super like, I would love to read all this stuff.
Yeah.
And he's a super nice guy. I met him 2 years ago at New York Comic Con.
I'm sure he's a lovely person.
And I got my stuff signed. I loved his podcast. Is why I wanted to do a podcast.
Really?
Yeah. Fat Man on Batman. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna quit.
Well, the way he would interview, and it got me so immersed into comics, because he would interview writers and artists, and he's what got me into Grant Morrison. Yeah. And because his interview with Grant was like the coolest thing in the world. Yeah, it's a 2-part interview. It's like 3 hours long because they talk for so long.
Wow.
But it's so interesting, and I just love hearing like Scott Snyder, and he interviewed Stan Lee, everybody. Like, and that's what really immersed me into like my knowledge. I know.
I'm just making faces.
I know.
Make faces.
But it was phenomenal. And I got Detective Comics 1000 was the big book that got released this year by DC. Yeah. So he did a story in it with Jim Lee.
I forgot to bring my book over here. I finally finished reading it.
Oh, how'd you like it?
It was cool.
Yeah.
There's some really good stories. There's some okay stories.
Yeah. There's some.
But it was fun.
But it was fun. Yeah, definitely. I really enjoyed it. I tried to get books like that, like Action Comics 1000 and Detective Comics 1000. I tried to make it just a blast of signatures.
Yeah.
And I kept it real clean this year. I tried not to go overboard with everybody, but I did get some good names on it. I had 2 different covers. A Lee Bermejo, what's called a Virgin variant, where it doesn't have the title on it. It's just the artwork. And then I got the 2000s Jock cover done. So I had Kevin Smith on both of them, Jim Lee on both of them. I even had some by Bruce Timm too, which were really cool. But they're beautiful books I got done, and those are like I like getting those jam pieces done, because just looking at them CGC'd and everything, it's really cool just checking it all out. We got in an overflow line to meet Jim Lee, and that was awesome. Scott Williams and Alex Sinclair are always with him because that's his inking and colorist that he always teams up with, and he was kind of moody this year, real moody. When I met him, he was tired. He didn't want to talk. Every time I've ever met Jim Lee, he's always been smiling and happy and joyful and all this stuff. And this year, just no. And they premiered Batman Hush.
Oh, yeah. I saw that. They premiered a trailer, right?
No, they premiered
the film.
The film,
Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay.
And the reviews were very iffy.
Oh wow.
Yeah, just like our review on that trailer.
You don't say.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like dead on to what we were saying.
Really?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I'll check it out one day when I'm bored.
why? I mean, why bother? You know what I mean? Why bother making an animated movie after a comic book if you're not gonna just go all into it?
Yeah.
And the art style, just the art style alone, just seems so passive.
It did. It
compared to
wasn't
what
Jim
it
Lee.
should be.
Yeah.
It's like you guys didn't get that part right. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a bummer.
And you know,
Same thing happened with the other one too, right? Killing Joke.
oh, Killing Joke was horrendous.
Yeah.
We don't speak about that.
Yeah.
We should watch it together
We
because you
should.
haven't seen
That'd
it.
be good.
Because
That'd
we're
be
gonna
funny.
do a Killing Joke episode for Joker.
Oh, I'll definitely have to watch the movie before
I'll
then.
kill myself and watch it. In fact, let me write that down. Dude, we're booked for the year.
We're booked for the year.
Yeah, I'm glad we're talking about all
We
this.
got it all done.
What else? What else was a very memorable moment? You know, I tried to take pictures, but you're so caught up in everything. It's hard to take
It's hard,
pictures of
yeah.
everything.
Well, you know, I got a question for you. What did you think about the Marvel, the MCU announcements for Phase 4? What did you think about all that stuff?
Let me pull up the list of all the films because I think that's a very
It's films and movies, right? Yeah.
film.
Well, while you're pulling it up,
films and movies.
or sorry, oops, films and TV.
Yeah.
Well, while you're pulling it up, I know the first one is Black Widow. So they're doing a Black Widow solo movie. I've read that there's supposed to be more than one Black Widow, which I don't even know the character very well.
I thought
multiple
Scarlett
agents.
Johansson was coming back for it.
She is, but I think there's going to be other Black Widows. Maybe there's other like Russian agents they like train together. I have no idea. What her origin story would be. All I know about Black Widow is that she's supposed to have a weakened version of the serum that Captain America has.
Really?
And they've never shown that in the movies. But apparently in the comic books, Russia tries to make a knockoff
that makes sense.
of the super soldier serum. It's not as good, but that's what they give to Black Widow. So she does have like some extra strength and agility and all that. She's just not at the level that Captain America is. I don't know if the movie's going to touch on that. I just know that that's part of the comic lore. I just really don't know a lot about that character.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, it would be kind of interesting. They should get into her origin, which I think is all you can do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what else are they going to touch on?
Yeah.
Because, spoiler alert, she dead.
Yeah.
So, like, where are they going to go? Unless they
Yeah.
go to some, like, alternate... Because they have opened up the whole universe thing, so...
Have they?
Well, like with Loki and the extra timeline.
Oh, that's true.
So there's
stuff like that.
and there's some other hints towards.
It's funny, Loki wasn't even
multiverse.
announced this year.
Yeah, it was. It was on the list.
No, it's not.
It totally is. It was in that picture.
Really?
What else do they have up there?
They have Blade,
Okay.
which
was the last thing announced, right? I think.
something like that. Which I'm excited for.
I'll
check it out.
I think that'll be cool.
I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah. It's been enough time. Blade should come back.
Yeah, I think so.
Quick fun fact about Blade. Maybe you didn't know. Ryan Reynolds is in Blade Trinity.
Yes.
Where he plays this like smart-mouthed assassin. He's got swords and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, apparently they told him just to play the role however he wanted because that character is not portrayed anyway like he is in the comic book.
Yeah.
So Ryan Reynolds said that he was going to play that role like he was Deadpool. And so in Blade Trinity, like if you get a Deadpool vibe from all the like wisecracks that he makes and everything, that's what he was going for.
Nice.
At the time. And that's before even X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Oh, wow.
Which was a
Really
disaster.
He's been trying to be Deadpool.
He's been
since
trying
he
to be
came
Deadpool
out.
for decades, man.
And you know what? I hate to say it, but I'm not a Rob Liefeld fan.
Oh, really?
No. Just like the guy in general, I'm not a big
Yeah.
fan of.
All right,
but
well, I can see that.
It's they had a book called X Liefelds, and it's like it's a parody of Rob Liefeld, and
Okay.
he put on Twitter, he's like, "I will refuse to sign this. Do not dare put this book in front of my face."
Oh, wow.
And I was like, "What?"
You
Yeah,
should-
which
you
I
should
get
do
it,
it.
but I was just like, it was just funny.
You should drop it. That's what I would do.
And then just
Could you sign this for me?
what
What else we got?
They announced Hawkeye, which looks like it's going to be based off the really popular Matt Fraction Hawkeye series, which apparently was amazing.
Is that also a book? Or, I mean, sorry, is that a show? Or is that
it's a show.
I think it's a show, too.
I think it's a show. Which, I mean, nobody cares about Hawkeye, but I've always heard so much about this Matt Fraction book, and he's such a good writer. One of my favorite writers. Matt Fraction's great.
Yeah.
Did Sex Criminals, stuff like that.
Is this when Hawkeye passes the bow? Is that what the
Maybe.
story's about?
I don't know.
Okay.
Might want to look into it. Might not.
Might
Probably
not.
won't.
Yeah, poor Hawkeye. I mean,
Oh, Loki is right here. I'm so sorry. You're 100% right.
I know I'm right. I'm always
my
right.
thumb when I was like, no, but it's right there. Yeah.
that's good.
Um,
Also a show.
Also a show
Explores the other timeline
that he
Loki.
goes through, which
Yep.
is interesting. I'm down to at least peek at
Why
it.
not?
You know?
You know what I mean?
Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. It's a first Marvel horror film.
This sounds like fun on the bun.
And yeah, that one I'm pretty excited for.
And it's
Not
got
gonna
Scarlet
lie.
Witch in it too. So Elizabeth Olsen will be in that movie
Oh, yeah,
as
yeah,
like a
exactly.
secondary character.
Yes, so that's cool. Something I'm very excited about. TV show.
What if?
Yes,
yes,
what
dude. I'm
if?
so stoked
Yes,
for this.
so hyped for that.
We should do an episode where we each pick 3 of our favorite what if issues. And then we talk about what if.
Down. What if?
Because I already have one of my issues in mind. Did you ever read the one where Venom is on the Punisher?
Yes,
Dude,
yes.
that one's
Oh,
great.
so good, so
That
good.
one's great.
I'd love to read that.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
I'm not putting the Hawkeye
It's done.
book down because we'll see if we even do that.
No, like Hawkeye's, just like he is in the Avengers, he's our last thought.
I
you know what
might read it and then I'll let you know if it's worth it.
Yeah.
But we'll
No, it's
see
not worth the whole
how
episode.
free I am. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. I'm curious. Does it talk about the Mandarin?
This apparently real Mandarin's in this one.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting. It's Marvel's first Asian superhero, so I guess that's kind of cool
Yeah.
if you're into that kind of thing. It is. It's going to be like a martial arts movie. It's like when Marvel got all super into martial arts in the '70s.
Yeah. Yeah. Seriously. Yeah.
I mean, it's not Iron Fist, which I guess would have been the better choice, but because of that whole Netflix
But
thing, they
nobody wants
can't
Iron
can't
Fist.
use them, and
Yeah.
apparently the show is terrible. I don't know,
I didn't watch it.
but I think that's the one I would be least excited about. To be honest, I mean, it could be cool to see.
You're
some,
more excited about Hawkeye than Shang-Chi?
I think. I don't know. I mean, I don't care
Yeah.
about Shang-Chi at all.
Yeah,
Like,
me either.
My name, I've never even heard of him.
Yeah.
That's how little I care.
Yeah.
But
I know nothing.
I would have said the same thing about Guardians of the Galaxy 3 or 4
And
years ago.
Bam.
And they're great.
Favorite
so
Marvel MCU movie.
we got to
arguably.
see. We
Yeah.
got to see what they can come up with. Might be awesome.
We talked about Loki already.
Yeah. Oh,
Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Falcon and the Winter
I was
Soldier.
not curious about this, but they released an image of Baron von Zemo,
oh yeah.
and I'm a little excited for this.
Kinda cool.
Like, yeah, I want to see the. I'm glad they brought the purple mask. That's all I wanted out of Winter Soldier was a purple mask.
I think it would be cool because I could see the vibe, like the buddy cop vibe going on here.
Yeah, and it's gonna have
Straight laced and kind of a silly one. You know what I mean? Like it's a good match.
We'll see if Steve Rogers has like a cameo or something. You know,
Maybe old Steve Rogers,
WandaVision.
which looks strange, but in a good way.
Strange. But like we were saying, I want to do the Tom King Vision book because it's a great story.
Yeah.
I got it signed by him this year. I actually took it to Comic Con to get
Oh,
signed.
cool.
Yeah, it's a really good story. So it'd be cool to check it out, but also be cool just to open the door so we could read the book.
And see
You
what's
would-
up with WandaVision. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mine that I'm personally most excited for, we have 2 left, is The Eternals.
Oh, the Selma Hayek casting kind of has me uninterested.
Yeah, the casting I'm not excited for.
Yeah,
But,
and Kumail Nanjiani's one of them too, right?
I think so, yeah.
He's cool. I like that guy.
But the story behind The
Yeah.
Eternals, one, I have not read it.
Oh, okay.
But I know it deals with a lot of the cosmic, like...
It's interesting.
What are they called? The big dudes.
The Eternals.
No, they're not called the Eternals.
No,
It
the
starts with a C.
Celestials.
Celestials, yeah. It deals with the Celestials.
We're talking about Infinity War again, right? This is when they show up in Infinity War?
Yeah, exactly.
Or Infinity
yeah.
Gauntlet, excuse me.
Yeah, it's all the same.
Yeah, it's all the same nonsense.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Infinity
So, yeah.
Saga.
But the original story was created by Jack Kirby back in the 70s. So
Okay.
it'd be cool to read those books. But one of my favorite writers, Neil Gaiman, and John Romita Jr. did a book a couple years ago on it. And I took it with me to Comic-Con to get it signed, and it's funny that they announced it at the same time.
That is funny.
But I would love to read the book. I have the hardcover, so it's something I've always been interested in. So I want to read into the story and see how the film turns out. Honestly, like it looks like a lot of just fun. You know what I mean? Like cosmic fun, and that's what I'm super down for. But that one's the one I'm personally most excited
I think it'll be
for.
cool. I'm interested.
Yeah.
I got my eye on it. And then we have Thor.
Yep,
Love and Thunder.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
I have not liked any of the Thor films.
What? You don't like Thor Ragnarok?
I like it visually, and I like the
Interesting.
rock guy.
Okay. I love Thor Ragnarok. Thor
And
2 is the
nothing
most forgettable MCU movie.
Yeah.
Thor 1,
It's all right.
it works a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got the whole fish out of water. Oh, I'm used to flagons and now I'm drinking coffee. Like, okay.
I'm still gonna watch it though.
That's as far as
I
you
like
can
the
get.
character Thor.
Yeah.
Like I do. I'm like a Thor fan. I just haven't been a fan of the films. Like
It is
but
weird that
I've
it's going to be
still seen
Natalie
them all.
Portman, I think.
I think it'll be interesting. And what's funny
Could
about
be.
Natalie Portman, she will not sign anything
Really?
ever. No matter what, she does not do signatures.
There you go. There you
But
go.
I'm curious about a Jane Foster Thor. It's piqued my interest. But
Could be cool.
it's gonna be. I'm sure it's gonna be fun no matter what. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm just. What I didn't like about Ragnarok is that it's the same basic Marvel formula, and it felt like really forced humor at some points. But visually,
You're
it was
insane. You're an insane
100%
person.
Jack Kirby, and that's why I loved it, and that's why I think it'll be good.
You're an insane person.
I just.
No, I'm just joking.
And I mean, it's
You
not.
don't like it. Yeah, you don't like it. You don't like it. It's
I
okay.
don't like a lot of the Marvel films.
You're weird. No, I'm just joking. I don't know. The Marvel movies are. The worst Marvel movie is 4 times better than any DC movie in the last 10 years.
You are 100% completely right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're awful.
I know.
That's all we got. I like the Marvel movies. I mean, yeah, there's definitely some repetition. I think this new list is pretty cool. I'm a little bummed that there's no X-Men in it.
It's gonna take. I think honestly,
where Spidey was a new Spider-Man.
personally, I think X-Men should just rest for a good little while. Like,
Oh,
give us like 5
give
years.
us some time. Well,
Dude,
yeah, it's
they
not,
pulled
not a
Dark
bad idea.
Phoenix 3 weeks after its release.
Dude, Dark Phoenix just
New Mutants has been in post-production hell for like 2 years. It's never gonna come
New
out.
Mutants never coming out.
Never.
Um,
But
I'm bummed though because that
Legion-
cast looks great.
cast does
New
look great.
Mutants.
Yeah, it did look great. Yeah, Stranger Things girl, what's her face?
Yeah.
From Game of Thrones. Legion, though, if you guys have not watched Legion,
Yeah.
that is the greatest
X-Men
X
story
Men
or
because
what?
it is. It doesn't even feel like a superhero.
Is there
show.
actual X-Men in it though, or is it just like this is
Professor
our
X comes
this,
into it. Legion's a real.
But I mean, is there like, you know what I mean? Like, is Cyclops in it?
no.
There's no like team or anything.
It's a team.
Okay.
But it's it is. Have you seen Twin Peaks?
Yes.
It's Twin Peaks, like insanity and mental.
Okay.
What just
Okay.
happened? But you can comprehend it.
Okay.
It's
oh
like
well, that sounds all right to
Yeah.
me. Yeah, Twin
It-
Peaks is pretty.
Yeah, David Lynch kind of goes over the board. You're just like,
Yeah.
I've been lost this whole time.
Yeah.
But this one messes with your head, and then you're just like, oh damn.
I'm down for that,
Yeah,
man.
and the soundtrack, wonderful, wonderful.
Okay.
Love it. The first episode had me hooked.
I'll need to check it out.
Definitely
I've
gotta
been
check it
meaning
out.
to,
And
and I just haven't.
there's only gonna be season 3's coming out right now. There's not a lot of it.
It is sad though that Dark Phoenix just
Bombed.
gone, man. I mean,
I saw that from the start.
it definitely didn't have the pickup, but I thought it would get something.
Yeah, it was. No one's gonna talk about it. And it's funny because Bill Sienkiewicz always releases one amazing poster at Comic-Con. Last year, those Halloween posters did amazing. They were
Oh,
free.
okay.
I got like $60 a piece for them.
Wow.
And then they had that giant poster that I sold for like $400, and it was free
Why didn't you get me a Halloween poster, Brandon?
because we weren't as connected as we are now.
Wow.
I know.
No,
if I
that's
would've
okay.
known.
I'm just joking.
Um,
So was it Phoenix this year or
it
what?
was Dark Phoenix, and it has not moved on eBay.
Oh no, because no one cares.
Nobody cares.
That's so
Nobody
sad.
cares. But it's a gorgeous poster, but nobody cares.
Well, if you have to throw it away, let me know. No, I'm just joking.
All right.
I love, and I love the X-Men movies. There's some that are stinkers for sure.
Oh yeah, I'm a big fan of a handful.
Every
of them, for
third or
sure.
four of them are a big old stinker.
You know, I do like X-Men 1, 2.
Yeah.
I do like 2 of the Wolverine movies. I like Logan,
Yeah.
and then the one where he goes to China and all.
The
or
Wolverine.
Japan. The Wolverine.
That
I
one's
love
cool.
that one.
That one's great.
And honestly, Wolverine, the first one, Origins, I could watch it.
It's not unwatchable. If you can remove the name Deadpool from that
Yeah.
character, it's even a little bit better.
Yeah, exactly. Just don't think of it like
Yeah,
that.
just don't think of it that way.
I have not seen Deadpool 2.
Oh, Deadpool 2's great.
Really?
Yeah, it's great.
I gotta
It's
watch
excellent.
it. There you go.
I
I think I just don't like Rob. It's like Brian
Really?
Azzarello. Like, I just don't like Rob Liefeld.
Well, if you don't like him, you don't like
You know,
him.
and then he said the statement on Twitter that DC is ready to crash and that they're ready to bomb. And it's just like, whoa, whoa,
Ooh,
whoa.
that's some trash talking.
Like, the thing about DC Comics versus Marvel Comics, like the actual comic books,
Yeah.
is that DC has the top creators, top artists. Like, they have
Okay.
amazing stuff going on right now. Yeah, cinematically, bombing.
Yeah.
But when you go to source material, DC right now is on fire.
I guess
like
that's true.
so much cool stuff coming out of them.
Yeah.
And Marvel, dude, when I look at the solicitations for Marvel, it's 1,000 X-Men books, it's 1,000 Spidey books, and then they're doing those True Believer copies that are coming out, 6 of them every single week.
Yeah, for
and,
$1 or something.
Yeah, and
I have
it's
one
like-
of those. Which one did I bought a What If True Believer actually?
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
But it was just like,
But it's
what
like,
is this?
guys,
Yeah, what's
like-
the point of this?
make something. And but
Yeah.
I will say that something that's coming out right now that I'm very excited for is Jonathan Hickman's it's like Powers of X or Powers of 10 and House of X. The way you're supposed to say it differently. But it's revamping the what we see X-Men as.
Is that Grand Design or is that another revamping?
No, it's a different one. Grand Design is phenomenal. It's by Ed Piskor, and
You know
he
what? I
wrote-
read an issue of Grand Design and I could not get into it.
Which one?
I don't know. I'll show it to you right now. I don't remember which one it is.
It's really just deep diving in X-Men history. It's like a X-Men history book. That's what it essentially is. Like, if you want to recover the first 30 years of X-Men, that's what Grand Design's about.
Man, what does Marvel need to do? What do they need to do to switch it up? I can see
Get
what you're
good
saying.
creators. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing...
Yeah.
And
Of
I love
course,
Marvel. I do. Like,
the argument would be, who cares if your comic book's good because our movie made $12 billion.
yeah, I know.
You know what
and
I mean?
and
Yeah.
I'm a reader. I'll read
Yeah.
before I watch anything, you know?
Mhm.
Like, I'm genuinely, like, I love Swamp Thing. And I decided to read a bunch of Swamp Thing comics. And, I don't know if you're going to be excited because you haven't seen the show yet. But
Oh.
I did get, what's his name? Derek Myers, the guy that plays Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
I did get him on a Swamp Thing book.
Derek Myers.
Yeah.
Derek Myers plays Jason Voorhees.
Yeah.
In the Halloween
Yeah.
remake.
Yeah.
Or the Friday the 13th
Yeah.
remake. I shouldn't know that. That occupies space in my brain. But you know what? That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. And it says Derek Myers and he wrote Swamp Thing under it.
Dang. I should have
Yeah.
sent you with my Blu-ray copy of Friday the 13th.
Ah,
the
that'd be
killer
great.
cut.
Yeah.
Um,
No, he's an easy guy to get. We'll get him again for sure.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That movie's not that great.
Oh, yeah. I know.
But what a shame about Swamp Thing. Did we talk about it last episode? I don't even know.
I don't even know. But the unfortunate thing about Swamp Thing is that it has gotten phenomenal reviews since it's been out. And
Yeah.
every episode has been doing really great. And everyone has said nothing but positive stuff about the series.
Yeah.
But due to some accounting error, it got canceled. But they had it planned for like a minimum of 3 seasons. Because season 3 was going to introduce Justice League Dark, which was going to have the Spectre, the Phantom Stranger, Constantine, Zatanna. Like, they had an amazing plan going. But an accounting error messed everything up. Although there is a small trinkle of hope, which I don't think is going to happen, but HBO or someone might pick it up. And with the merge of
Doubt it.
DC, I know, the merge of DC and Warner Brothers and HBO and all that, it might happen because there's the Watchmen show on HBO.
That's true. That might be cool. They need to. Cause I'm going to be honest. Like, the only thing I saw DC TV-wise, they had a trailer for Batwoman, which looks like it was made on $50. I don't know if you've seen that trailer for that
I
Batwoman
saw
TV
that
show they're
trailer
coming out with.
and I cringed.
It looked like it was filmed in someone's garage, and they like hung up like tarps to like hide
And
what
it's
the
funny
room
because
was.
when they look at the Batsuit and she said something about making it for a woman, but when you look at that suit, it looks like it's already made for a woman.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it is. Yeah,
It's not.
it's ridiculous.
It's and then she's. I don't know. It's a bunch. I don't want to. I'm gonna get in trouble
It's
for stuff
cringy.
I'll say about. It's cringy.
Yeah,
It is cringy.
super cringy.
And you know, Batwoman's not a bad character, but you know, just make a Batman TV show and put her in it.
You know, I do think though maybe DC should hit up HBO because especially with Disney doing this channel of just like these Marvel shows are gonna knock it out of the park.
Yeah, yeah,
Like Marvel's unstoppable at this point.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
yeah. They have Disney money. You could do.
They have Disney money.
And you know, one of my biggest things that I try to make people understand too is that, of course, Marvel movies look amazing because they have that Disney money. Warner Brothers doesn't have that same Disney money, so they don't have the same production value.
Yeah.
So it's either like don't do it or keep something grounded.
It's really-
Todd Phillips' Joker movie looks good because it's pretty grounded. You know what
It's
I mean?
really hard to make that CGI lip look nice. You know what I mean? When you don't have that Disney money.
Terrible. And you know what's so sad is that as they keep releasing stuff about that Snyder Cut version,
Yeah.
it's like, why did you guys mess with that?
I mean, it was going to be terrible. You know, I'm the pessimist over here, but Zack Snyder hadn't made a good movie since 300.
Oh yeah,
Like,
you're right about that.
Like
yeah.
Sucker Punch, awful.
But I mean, I would have at least liked to see Darkseid.
It would have been cool, but I mean, Zack Snyder was the wrong person to put your cinematic universe into their hands.
No, Watchmen was great.
Oh, I'm sorry, I did miss one. Watchmen's
Yeah,
good.
Watchmen's good.
Watchmen's good. That's it.
That's it.
He has Dawn of the Dead remake, Watchmen, and 300. Those are his good movies.
I didn't even see Sucker Punch because I heard it was so bad.
Sucker Punch is real bad. Well, maybe we should wrap this one up, man. I mean, I feel like we've chatted about many a thing.
Comic-Con was great. We got some exclusives.
How cool.
A lot of fun stuff. And it just goes by so fast. You blink and it's gone. But next year, I'm going to be very prominent there, too. I have a bunch of stuff up my sleeve for the booth and for my material and for the show and everything I'm going to have there.
It's a great comic segment title, Up My Sleeve.
Ah,
you know what I mean?
there
What's
you
up
go.
my sleeve? Oh, man. Let's write that one down.
But that's it.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say about it.
No, this was just supposed to be a nice little welcome back.
Yeah, we've been missing for a while, but we've been busy.
Yeah, we've been busy.
Been great stuff, but we're back
Found
and
some
we're
new
hitting it
stuff to
hard.
talk about.
This list is
It's
huge.
thick, man. It's a thick list. We'll pick a couple things and then we'll hop on it. We'll be ready
We'll have
for
a lot
next
of
time.
fun.
Yeah.
Yes. We have a Batman episode coming up after this, and then we have potentially a Swamp Thing episode.
Yeah, probably the old Swampy.
Yeah. You got to read Alan Moore stuff.
We got to get through Alan Moore.
Yeah. But that's it. Thanks for visiting. We will see you next time when you come to Apollo City. That was weird. That's it.